Assalamualaikum everyone. So my name is Nurul Hayani Binti Mohamad Imran. So today I want to give you guys a speech to inform. So I choose the title is Who is a Polyglot? So I think you guys have been wondering what is polyglot it is or what the meaning. Okay. For me, when I do a research about this topic before this, when I want to find a title for my speech to inform assignment, I'm also the first time heard and know about this word. I never know about this word before. This is also my first time. So if you guys don't know about this word, it's okay. I will explain to you guys what it is about. So let's get started. Okay, but before we start to the main point and to the definition about who is polyglot, I want to tell you guys that I also provided about my information about me being a student. So I also provide a little bit about myself. So if you guys want to read, you guys can pause it, okay? So I will start about first the definition of polyglot. The definition, if you guys can see in my slide, people who are knowing or using several languages. For me, most of you maybe think that polyglot was the same as multi-language person, but actually they are not. They still have a difference and benefits with their own way, and actually polyglot is known more about language compared to multi-language person. And you guys can Google to see what are the difference it is. So I want to tell you guys about the famous polyglot in this world. So I provide 3 persons in my slide, which is the first one is Ollie Richards, number 2 is Lydia Makova, and number 3 is Steve Kaufman. Actually, there has many more, but I only provide these 3 persons. When I do research about these 3 persons, actually they have their own way how they study about language and how they can become a polyglot. So you guys can Google about these 3 names, how they do study about language. So I will move to the next, which is the first main points. Okay, now we enter to the first main point, which is the best way to learn language. So the first one is take risks and speak the language whenever you can. For me, you should don't pay attention to what people want to say about you. Just do what you want, what you like, because most of them don't want to learn language because they are always mocked by the people around them. Number 2, read children's book and comic books in the foreign language, because usually if this kind of book is easier to understand the language for the beginner. Number 3, consume foreign language media. There are many language apps and websites that you can Google and download. Number 4, watch a movie. This way is generally known to be able to interest them in learning for me. And for the lastly, make new friends. When we interact with someone, we will understand a language more easily. Okay, now I will enter for the second main point, which is how to be polyglot. Number first, you can communicate. Of course, you should can communicate. Number 2, passionate about each language. Number 3, only learn one language at a time. Number 4, practice all language as often as possible. Number 5, be clear about why you want to be a polyglot. Number 6, know when it's time to start the next language. And number 7 is bring your entire focus back to language you have already learned. For me, all of these methods can be used and they are be guaranteed to be effective. Only you are either lazy or diligent. This also depends on interest. If you don't have interest, then it won't work either. All of this depends on you too, because this thing can also provide benefits in terms of your job and future. Now I will talk about for the last main point, which is main point number 3, benefits of being polyglot. Number 1, you will get better job opportunities. When you can speak many languages, many companies will give you a job opportunity to work in their company. So number 2, it can give you good brain exercise. This shows that when you remember and memorize a language a lot, it can train our brain to think. Number 3, greater sensibility and sharper ear. You must be wondering what the ear has to do with language. Actually, in training ourselves to be a polyglot, we will listen a lot in terms on someone's conversation when studying, and we will become more sensibility. Number 4, new people and new culture. When we become a polyglot, mostly we will travel to people country and get to know people country because we want to become fluent in learning certain language. In conclusion, as you can see and as you can hear, I have explained as good as possible about who is polyglot. For me to be polyglot is not easy. It requires you to give more effort to get a good result. So I hope you can have understand what I have to say, what I have to give you today, and I hope you have gained some new knowledge today. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.